First, congratulations to North Carolina. They really battled. Both teams played very hard, obviously, but they made it hard for us. And it was a heck of an atmosphere, and our guys didn't die. They kept hanging in there, gave ourselves chances. Obviously, we didn't shoot it as well. And I think a couple of our live ball turnovers in a game like that, when some of our shots weren't falling, some of those turnovers that led to some buckets for them were real costly. But two teams playing their hearts out. Carolina deserved it.
Questions, first row to our left.
Mike Barber, Richmond Times-Dispatch. Malcolm, what was it about tonight that made it such a bad shooting night? And did you have a feeling at some point in the second half, maybe during that lull, that it just wasn't you guys' night in terms of offensively?
No, your confidence doesn't really waver. You just have to keep shooting, even on tough shooting nights. You just got to believe that the next shot is going to go in. That's going through your mind.
Next question for UVA. Far left, about the fifth row.
Mike Savettis, Richmond Times-Dispatch. For all of you, as disappointing as this loss is, obviously you still have bigger things coming up starting tomorrow when the brackets are released. How do you go forward with tomorrow and shaking this off? Obviously you got to get ready pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think we'll find out who we play. There's always you catch us right at 5-10 minutes after a game with these guys laid it on the line and you're disappointed. But we'll learn from that and then get ourselves ready, find out who we play, and prepare the right way, and hopefully, like I said, grow from this.
Back to the front to our left.
Mike Barber, Richmond Times-Dispatch. Anthony, did you have a sense that there was an offensive funk that you guys were in, or did it just seem like there were good shots? What was kind of happening on that end of the floor?
Seems like we were getting good shots. We just didn't convert on them. A lot of guys had wide open shots that just weren't falling for us tonight. We did get a lot of second chance baskets, though, a lot of second chances to run our offense, but we just didn't convert like we needed to.
To our left, third row.
Bob Holliday, WRL.com. Coach, you brought up the turnovers. You forced 8 turnovers in the first 10 minutes of the game, I believe, 11, 12, but only got 5 points off that. I don't know if some of them were dead ball turnovers, but was that a key factor that maybe you didn't get more points off their turnovers while they got points off your turnovers?
I think when you're struggling offensively or the shots aren't going down, any X-factor points off turnovers at the free throw line, we only went to the line 3 times, offensive putbacks, things like that. A lot of times, again, they defended hard. We got stuck at the end of the shot clock and had a couple times force some plays, but you have to in that spot. We were a little stagnant at times, but again, I think that's partly on us, but partly a credit to how hard they played and got after us.
Left side standing up in the very back.
Tony, I'm Craig Heist, AP Radio. The 15-2 run after you were up 44-40 in that second half, how much of that was you? How much of that was what they were doing defensively?
Both and. A couple, I think the turnovers were in there that they scored. We got some of those looks, nice open looks that, we've knocked down, so you had to take some of those. But and part of it was us, and absolutely their defense they ratcheted up. I thought from when we played them the first time at our place, I can't exactly remember, they were better defensively in that game. It was in our gym, but I noticed that they were good, and we saw that the way they played in the previous 2 games.
Go back to Mike Barber here in the front row.
Tony, we've talked so much about the offense. Were you pleased with what you guys were able to do defensively against them for most of the game?
For the most part, I think so. I want to watch the film and see. A couple times we had some breakdowns, and you can tell it's a good team because they exploit you. They make you pay when you aren't there on a rotation on a trap, and they were good that way. And again, some of those turnovers turned into points, but for the most part, we fought and made it hard, and that's a team certainly that can score. So we had the game, I think, where we needed it to be to have a chance to be successful, and I thought the defense was solid, but I'll kind of hold my final judgment until I watch it.
Front row directly in front.
Yeah, Malcolm, did they do anything differently on you than they had in the previous outing?
I don't think so. I just missed a lot of open shots. But my hat does go off to them. I thought they played a really good defensive game all around. Flooding the lane when I drove. But I think I did, on my part, I missed a lot of shots.
Back to Bob Holliday to our left.
Anthony, in the last 2 years, 3 of the best games I've seen you play have come against this team. Obviously, you're a North Carolina native. Is that a factor? Or is there something stylistically about the way they play that just brings out the best in your game?
I think it's just the way that they play. You know, they got two big guys that crash the glass a lot, and you have to keep them off the glass and try to do your best there. And then there's opportunities to crash the glass on your end too, which creates a lot of opportunity for me to get the ball in the bucket.
Anything else for Virginia? Fourth row to our right.
Yeah, Kip Coons for the Raleigh News and Observer. Tony, you haven't mentioned it, but how much of a factor was fatigue, your late game, and really pressed by Miami to the end?
Well, I told the guys before, some of you guys are banged up. You're tired. I said, but so what? You know, you're in this game. And we did have, 3 physical games or 2 physical games. And it was a physical game tonight. I mean, it was a wrestling match trying to get open. It was a physical, tough game. So absolutely fatigue's part of it for both teams. We looked a little tired, but that's not an excuse. It was just one of those games, and it was who was going to impose whose will on the other one. And we weren't able to come through. I thought there were times where we were starting to, and then a couple of those runs they had made it very difficult.